Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and today's video is part 9 of my Would I or Wouldn't I series here on my channel. And I know I mention this in every part of this series, but I did get this idea from Angelica Liramar. She is another beautiful, phenomenal creator here on this platform. I'll link her channel in my description box. I've been subscribed to her for several years, and she's given me so many wonderful video ideas, and this just happens to be one of those ideas. Now, the object of this video is that I pull out 10 palettes at random out of my collection. I make a little stack out of them, and then I'm going to go through these with you and let you know which palettes I would or would not repurchase and why or why not. But before I get into that part of the video, I did want to talk to you guys about the eyeshadows that are on my eyelids today. And this look came from shades from Steph's Pure palette. My best friend and sister, Not Your Basic Steph, she did a collaboration palette with Saints, Angels, Sinners. And that palette is coming. I cannot wait to get the actual palette. But I was chatting with Darcy, the Saints, Angels, Sinners owner, and she agreed to send me some of the shadows that she had from this palette. And I have popped pictures of this look up on my Instagram. So if you're interested in hearing more about the shades that I use and whatnot, then go to my Instagram. It's ericaconger_beauty. But I will tell you, spoiler alert, that the shades in that palette work absolutely perfectly. I had so much fun putting this look together, and I cannot wait till I get the actual palette. So let's get started with the 10 palettes that I pulled at random out of my collection to talk to you guys, show you all that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this palette from Morphe. This is the, what is this called? Call Me Cool. Now, I got this when it was first released, and I love this color story, okay? I love it, I think it's beautiful. I love greens, purples, blues, everything that's in here is really nice. However, these shades don't really perform all that well. And I don't know that I've used all the shades in here. I don't think I've used the blues. I think I've just used the greens and the purples. The purples work better for me than the greens did. This green right here is pretty dusty. It just kind of blends off to nothing on your eyelids. You just kind of have to pack the shadow and then just leave it. Like blending it, just kind of, there it goes. And I did declutter this in my last eyeshadow palette collection declutter video. And then as I was putting the palettes in bags to give to different people, I was like, I don't really want to get rid of this yet, because I think it's such a beautiful color story, and I have so many plans for this palette, and I want it to perform so much better than it does. But, you know, I haven't tried the blues, and it's been a little while since I've used it, so I'm going to keep it, and I am going to use this soon. I'm just going to leave this on my desk, too, with the mountain of stack of palettes I have. But, I don't think I would repurchase this. I mean, like I said, I love the color story. I want to use this, but the formula and the quality is just a little. The next palette is another one from Morphe, and this is the Make and Bank palette. I have such a hard time saying that. I always want to say Make and Bank. And I got this with an Ulta gift card that my son gave me, I think for Christmas or my birthday. He's so good. He spoils me every Christmas and every birthday with a gift card from Ulta. I love that boy. And I do wish that this palette had a little bit more depth in it. Like, it would be really nice if it had a black matte, or like a really dark green matte, or a dark brown even matte would be nice. But I really think this is a beautiful color story. And what I love the most about this palette is this shade here, this shade here. This shimmer is stunning. It's kind of a duochrome. It's like golden peach. And then this shimmer is really nice too. It's kind of like an olivey green. And a lot of different things you can do with this. You know, there's some warmth and some cool, and I love it. And, you know, I know that not everybody likes Morphe palettes, but I always pinch my finger when I shut these kind of palettes. Stop it. But I am really happy that I have this in my collection, and I would definitely repurchase it. The next palette is the Blend Bunny Lure palette. Isn't that cute? I love it. And you know what else I didn't really realize until not very long ago? And I've had this palette now for long enough that I should have realized it. It says 24 shades for the mermaid within. It took me a while to figure out these were fish scales. I mean, you know, I don't know where my brain is 90% of the time. This is such a gorgeous color story. I love how this palette is arranged, because if you want to do more monochromatic looks, it's arranged by monochromaticness by columns, you know, like this column, and on down the palette. Or you can do mix and match. I did do a 3 looks video with this palette. Love the performance of the mattes and the shimmers. I will say that I don't think I'm using the right kind of eye primer for the shimmers, because I did notice as the day wore on, my shimmers got a little blown up and kind of creasy. I don't think I've ever heard anybody else say that about any Blend Bunny palettes. So I think I just need to get like some tackier primer. I have some tackier primer. I just need to use the tackier primer on my mobile lid when I apply the shimmers. But man, I love this brand and I love this palette and I want to get more from Blend Bunny. Oh, yes, I do. So yeah, I would definitely repurchase this. The next palette is the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette. Now, I've done videos where I've talked about pastel leaning palettes or pastel palettes, whatnot. And for whatever reason, I always forget to pull this palette into that type of video. And I have no idea why, because I do really enjoy this palette. I did do a palette bingo collab with Jen from Jen Beauty. The shades I chose were very strange together, but I think we both did a decent job of creating looks. She did a better job than I did. I love the shimmers in here. I love the mattes. The mattes are very pigmented and they blend well, and the shimmers are stunning. They're lovely. I just forget that I have it. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I have too many damn palettes. But this is another one that I really do need to use soon because it's just a lovely, lovely palette. I like the packaging. I love the BH Cosmetics Travel Series type palettes. I would totally repurchase this one. Then we have another palette from BH Cosmetics, and this is the Cherry on Top Sweet Shop palette, or Sweet Shop Cherry on Top, however you want to say it. And I want to tell you a little story about this palette. When these were first released, I thought, I don't need those. I mean, they're pretty, they're cute, whatever, but I don't need them. Then I saw people using them on their channels. And I was like, okay, I'm getting all of them. So I went on to the BH Cosmetics website and they were gone. Okay, gone. So then they got re-released and I waited until I just couldn't wait anymore. And I did pick up the pistachio palette and that was it. And then I had massive FOMO, like almost crying in my sleep over not getting the rest of these. So one day I walk into Marshall's, it was like a couple days before Christmas, and here they are. This one, the bubblegum, cotton candy, and orange sorbet. The waffle cone was there too, but I thought I don't really need that one. And I grabbed all of them. They were $7.99 a piece. And one of the best makeup bargain purchases I've ever made in my life. This is such a beautiful quality formula. I believe BH's best quality formula. Absolutely. And it's just a really fun mix of reds and kind of pinks. You know, I think this is a really well-rounded monochromatic red color story. The formula, like I just said, just went nuts over, is amazing. So yes, absolutely. I would repurchase this for full price too. Then we have the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. And I picked this up from Amazon. And I also picked it up because Jen Phelps had raved about it in her videos. And Jen Phelps is like my eyeshadow guru. You know, I love her collection and I really like her taste. And I think she's very intelligent when it comes to makeup selection, makeup choices. And this palette, this color story, reminds me of the state of Oregon. Just every time I look at this, I think this is my home state. The ocean, the mountains, hiking, you know, to me, that's just what this palette says is Oregon. And I love it. I really do. I don't know that it's the best quality palette that I own in my collection. It is not. But I do think it's a very nice quality palette. I think it's very decent and it works really well. I think some of the mattes maybe are a little, not the easiest to blend maybe, or maybe a little patchy. Maybe the formula is not like top notch, but the shimmers I think are beautiful in here. This is another one I need to use soon. And of course, my love for Oregon is strong enough that I would definitely repurchase this. Then we have the Zoeva Matte Spectrum palette. And the front of this looks a little scary. This was gifted to me from Steph, not your basic Steph. And this was not her doing. I did this to the front of the palette. And I've used this a handful of times and the mattes are gorgeous. Very pigmented, they blend well. I like the fact that these shades are kind of muted a little bit. You know what I mean? They're not like super vibrant, just vibrant enough. They're just gorgeous. I love the tones in here. I love having an all matte palette, even though I used to think I would hate having an all matte palette. I thought that, I'm like, who the hell would want an all matte palette? I do, now that I finally figured out that you can put more than one palette together to create an eye look. Or you can do an all matte look, which I need to do that. I've done it, I think, once, and I really want to try doing that again. But I know I didn't purchase this palette, I was gifted it. But if I was given the druthers, given the chance to repurchase it, I would, because I do think it works really well, and I've had a lot of fun with it. Then we have the Rude Cosmetics Au Naturel palette. Now, honestly, I almost decluttered this in my last eyeshadow palette collection go around, but I kept it because I think it's lovely. I think the formula is really nice. I like all the tones in here. I will say that yes, I do have these tones in other palettes, but not all together in one palette. And the quality is just really nice. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about Rude Cosmetics, but I do have, 3 or 4, I think, palettes now. Well, maybe not that many, 3 palettes, 2 from Rude Cosmetics. I did gift a few to my daughter. Not that I didn't like them. I just have way too many eyeshadow palettes, and I felt like she might get more use out of them than I was getting, and she is, and she loves them. I don't know. This might get decluttered at some point just because I don't know. I don't want to declutter because I really do like it. So I'm probably not gonna, am I? Yeah, I might. I don't know. But the point is, I think I would repurchase this. Then we have the Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral, or Nubian 3 Coral. And I love the packaging, and I love this brand. This is one of my favorite brands, absolutely. But I will say, and I know I've mentioned this before a few times, that when I got this palette and opened it up, even though I had seen pictures of it on the website, I still was kind of thrown for a loop. I was like, what, how, what, who, am I gonna be able to put these shades together? And it did take me a little while to figure it out, but I can put these shades together, and I have created some really pretty looks with this. This shimmer right here and this shimmer right here, these two together, this silver and this kind of light, bright coral, are so stunning together. The Juvia's Place shimmer formula is one of my faves, that thick, buttery, opaque loveliness. And then the mattes in here are really nice, blend out really nice. And I'm glad that I was able to, like, you know, use the engineering part of my brain, although I don't think that exists, to put a look together with this. It's really not that complicated, really not. But yeah, I would absolutely repurchase this. The last palette here is the Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. And I picked this up off the website. It was on a really good sale, like not very much money. And I'd seen so many of my friends using this palette, and I think this color story is so gorgeous. The grungy, vampy, earthy, you know, just a lot of really fun, deep options in here. But I will say that I'm not a huge fan of the shimmer formula in here. This shade right here, this is called Machine. I used that in a look, and when I got home from work that night, it literally looked like that shade had kicked my ass and taken my name. I mean, my husband was even like, did you get in a fight out in the parking lot on your way home? I was like, no, it's just this thing just blew up all over my lids. And I'm learning, and I swear I'm gonna finally put what I'm learning into practice and use a tackier primer for these shimmers. I really do think that's the way to go. I love the mattes. I think they're beautiful. They're very pigmented and they blend well. I just love all the tones in here. I haven't used all the shimmers. Okay, there's several in here I haven't used yet, so I do need to use the rest of the shimmers. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't super impressed with the shimmer formula in this baby. Would I repurchase this? Would I repurchase this? Yeah, I would. Even though the shimmers aren't wowing me all the time, and they've made me look like a hot mess. I just need to try a different primer. We'll see how that goes. But yes, I would repurchase this. So there was part 9 of my Would I or Wouldn't I series. And I think out of all 10 palettes, there was one I said I wouldn't repurchase, right? The very first one, Morphe, Call Me Cool. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's part of the problem. That's why I have a bajillion eyeshadow palettes, is because I love them all. I really do love them all. And like I said, I'll have Angelica Liramar's channel linked in my description box. I encourage you guys to go and check her out. And if you love her, like I do, subscribe to her. She is really a wonderful creator. And part 10 will be coming next month. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.